Chapter 4. The Fourth Infallible, the Second Imam. Imam Hasan ibn Ali, peace be on him. Imam Hasan was born in the year 3 after Hijrah, in Medina. Imam Hasan was the eldest son of Imam Ali and Hazrat Fatima. When the Holy Prophet received the happy news of the birth of his grandson, he came to the house of his beloved daughter, took the newly born child in his arms, recited azan and iqama in his right and left ears respectively, and in compliance with Allah's command named him Al-Hasan. Greater than in human perfection, Imam Hasan was reminiscent of his father and a perfect example of his noble grandfather. In fact, as long as the Prophet was alive, he and his brother were always in the company of the Prophet, who even sometimes would carry them on his shoulders. Many times the Prophet had said, "Hasan and Husayn are my children." The first phase of 7 years of his infancy was blessed with the gracious patronage of the Holy Prophet, who gifted him all his great qualities and adorned him with divine knowledge, tolerance, intelligence, bounty and valor. Being infallible by birth and decorated with heavenly knowledge by Allah, his insight had an access to Lohi Mahfuz, the guarded tablet on which the transactions of mankind have been written by Allah for all eternity. The holy Imam devoted himself to prayers in such abundance that all the limbs employed in prostration bore scars and impressions of his sajda prostration. Most of the nights were spent on the prayer carpet. Imam Hasan had the worldly possessions at his disposal and could have enjoyed a luxurious life, but he utilized all of it in the betterment of the condition of the poor. The demise of the Holy Prophet was followed by an eventful era when the Islamic world, under the false ruling bodies, came in the grip of the fever of expansionism and conquest. But even under such a revolutionary phase, Imam Hasan kept devoting himself to the sacred mission of peacefully propagating Islam and the teachings of the Holy Prophet along with his great father Imam Ali. During that time Muawiyah, who was a bitter enemy of Ali and his family and had fought for years with the ambition of capturing the caliphate, first on the pretext of avenging the death of the third caliph and now with an open claim to the caliphate, marched his army to Iraq, the seat of Imam Hasan's caliphate. War ensued, during which Muawiyah gradually subverted the generals and commanders of Imam Hasan's army with large sums of money and deceiving promises until the army rebelled against Imam Hasan. Finally, the Imam was forced to make peace and to yield the caliphate to Muawiyah, provided it would again return to Imam Hasan after Muawiyah's death, and the Imam's household and partisans would be protected in every way. The martyrdom of Imam Ali on the 21st Ramadan marked the inception of Imam Hasan's imamate. Imam Hasan became Imam. He also occupied the outward function of caliph for about 6 months, during which time he administered the affairs of the Muslims. The majority of Muslims pledged their allegiance to him and realized the formality of bay'ah, oath of allegiance. No sooner had he taken the reins of leadership into his hands than he had to meet the challenge of Muawiyah, the governor of Syria, who declared a war against him. In compliance with the will of Allah and with a view to refrain from causing the massacre of Muslims, however, he entered into a peace treaty with Muawiyah on terms, though not totally respected and carried out by Muawiyah, yet saved Islam and stopped a civil war. In this way Muawiyah captured the Islamic Caliphate and entered Iraq. In a public speech he officially made null and void all the peace conditions and in every way possible placed the severest pressure upon the members of the household of the Prophet and the Shia. During all the 10 years of his imamate, it was meant only as an interim transfer of the administration of the Islamic kingdom, subject to the condition that the administration would be surrendered back to Imam Hasan after Muawiyah's death, and then it would in turn be inherited by Imam Hussein. Imam Hasan lived in conditions of extreme hardship and under persecution, with no security even in his own house. Muawiyah's malice against Imam Hasan led him to conspire with the Imam's wife Jada, the daughter of Ashith. She was made to give the Imam some poison which affected his liver. Imam Hasan thus succumbed to Muawiyah's fatal mischief and attained his martyrdom on 28 Safar 50 after Hijrah. His funeral was attended by Imam Hussein and the members of the Hashemite family. His bier while being taken for burial to the Holy Prophet's tomb was shot at with arrows by his enemies, and it had to be diverted for burial to the Jannat al-Baqi at Medina. His tomb was demolished along with others on 8th Shawwal 1344, the 21st of April 1926, by the Saudi rulers when they came to power in Hijaz. After the death of Muawiyah, Imam Hussein emerged as the insurmountable mountain of truth and determination. Imam Hasan said, "Opportunity is something which is quick to vanish and late to return." End of chapter.